And welcome to what's most likely to be the very final episode on Project Southpaw, Phase 1. So car passed its MOT. I've just been doing tidying up a few loose ends on it. As you can see, it's been replaced in the barn. Exciting continuation on that project. But before that, I got a starting issue with this one again. I think it's a high resistance circuit. I'll be able to prove that. I shall demonstrate in my diagnosing electrics on Lucas, the Prince of Darkness. For now though, it's just tucked up there. I'm going to put him under shelter a bit later on. It's getting mighty cold down in Devon. And I'm getting over a stinking cold, so apologies to the disgusting noises that I make during this video. I do apologise. If you don't like disgusting noises, don't venture any further forward than this, but mainly just sniffly, 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 moany, moany, moany. You know what blokes like when they get colds. As usual, thank you for watching. Enjoy, feedback, give me thumbs up, give me thumbs down, if you must, and add your comments, add your feedback. My company is in the link. It's at the link at the top of my channel, and it's also the link below this particular video. Down there somewhere. Yeah, if you've got projects like these, you want your advice, my advice on, please drop me a line. I don't bite. Very fella is going to get a bit of a tune up. So one of the things I've noticed is it's a bit low on power. So I'm just going to double check the fuel pump, which is that big old beast there. Fuel pump timing. So the way I do this is crank the engine over to top dead centre, which you can see if I have my torch. Oh dear, miserable that is today. It's not quite raining yet, but it's been raining. Right, so crank him over to top dead centre, which is not far off now. And there's a pin that you need to push into the tail end of the tail end of the flywheel. So I'm going to need to get under there, but basically I'm not going to take the phone under it because it's grubby and I need to basically just do it. But there's an access hole, which is land of hope and glory and all that, there, and you screw the pin into it, and inside it locates into a slot on the timing wheel. There's plenty of instructional videos on how to do this. There's the drain plug for the sump there, which I need to do next. You can change the oil on this thing. And then I can get the fuel pump timed up and we'll see if it makes an improvement. Oh look, it is raining now, look at that. Beautiful. So I got the pins that goes in and out of the fuel pump. It's at top dead centre. Interestingly though, the marker on the damper isn't quite at top dead centre. It's only an indication. It's not far off. I'd say it's a millimetre or two out. That's not an issue. That's only an indicator down there. Don't worry about that. But I got it top dead centre on the flywheel by pushing the little pin in underneath, and I got it top dead centre on that. So if we're going to have a look now at the pin, well, although the pin's dropped out, we balance that there so you can see it. I can push it back up. And it goes in, so it's actually in. That's as far as it goes. Okay, I can unscrew that fella now because I know the crank is at top dead centre. I've torqued down the oh my goodness, not well today, fucking cold and cough and shit. The kit I bought, these Clicker 5000 kits, which comes with a puller for the damper, various timing tools, and also the pin there which goes into the fuel pump. What I did was when I cranked it over to top dead centre, I used a drill bit just to confirm that that was the right one, and it was. That can go back in there. I've torqued these 3 bolts down here, which allow the timing pulley to run free of the the gear pump pulley to run free of the timing belt. That's all torqued up now. That can go back in there. And I just need to put other odds and sods back on again now. So I'm happy enough with that. It's been over so many times, I'm not going to bother checking it. It was maybe a few degrees out, but nothing well, I say a few degrees out. It's quite serious really, isn't it? It was a little bit out. And that's probably because of the timing belt change. Here's the rusty old channel. This is the only channel I can get hold of, which is the front driver's door channel for a 4-door. Obviously the channel bits are in the wrong place, but interestingly, they're the same length. So all I need to do is to cut that there, unspot weld that, re-spot weld it there. A job will be a good one, I reckon. So let's get on with that. I think that's relatively straightforward. Cut it to exactly the same length. What can possibly go wrong? So that's good. Now we need to go see if that's in the right sort of place. Otherwise I just need to knock this backwards and forwards. It'll be able to go backwards and forwards slightly, yeah? Not a huge amount, but slightly. So we can do that. The other thing I wanted to look at was this bit here. Ah, Mr. Gravity. It's been a while. Not had Mr. Gravity today. I'm glad Mr. Gravity took the socket rather than the glass. Actually, there's still fucking time, isn't there? I'll get it out. Unnecessarily sweary. Oh, balls aches. What's happened to my... We've had a Halford's failure. Halford's Extreme. Not holding his socket anymore. Goodness, sorry. No, fuck that. That's just a big thing in the floor. Right, get that. La 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 la. We've got this boot here. Cack-handed. Right, now, I'm not going to take the glass out because there's no need to, but what I do want to do is take this bracket off the end and work out what on earth is going on with it. Might have to be a bit of angle though. That's the remains of one half of it. And here comes the other half now. I might have a bit of aluminium. If I put a bit of aluminium L bracket under there, would that work? Why am I telling you? Why am I asking you even? Let's take this fucking glass out. There's nothing really holding it in. Yes, there is. It's quite tight at the bottom here. So let's turn you around. Yay! Gravity! and it's the next day. Right, I'm very croaky today. Let's put up with it, guys. Sorry. Stinking cold. I've not had a stinking cold for years. I really have gone down with this one. Okay, so one of the things I wanted to do in this short segment is to show you how it is you get the door, ensure that the door frame is set up correctly so that the glass goes up and down easily. So the first thing you've noticed is in the last video, there's a fibre channel that goes in here. You can actually just get it. I think Woolies Trim do a large fibre channel which fits into these frames beautifully. I haven't got any in the workshop, and this stuff, it seems to work all right. Someone's absolutely coasted in grease for some reason, which has solidified, and I think that was the main reason that the glass was a bit reluctant to go up and down easily. So what I generally do is when I put the door back together again, I loose fit the bolts. So there's a screw at the top here, there's 2 screws over here. Don't worry about that one just yet. Bolt down here, bolt there, bolt down here, bolt there. Make sure they're all loose. Okay? First thing you really want to do is to check that the door, when it closes, I mean, it does lift. The main thing about these doors, when you close them, you have got the shape of the catch here is designed to hit the pin. Let me just not let that swing into the door. Hits the pin and lifts the door up. So you'll notice that when the door is presented, it's a little bit lower than it should be, but closes beautifully. Okay, and everything lines up once it's closed. The reason for that is it's quite a big old door, this, and when you pull it, you actually want gravity to open it. Okay, so basically what I've done is checked that the window goes up and down easily. I've checked that the frame lines up evenly along with the door, front and back, and also checked that the in and out play on the door is good. I'm happy with all of that. So all I need to do now is secure the 4 bolts at the bottom here. There's one that goes downwards, there's one that goes into the frame there, and similarly here. Do those up, and again, just double check that the window does secure itself. So let's find that. Now it's going to be Imperial here. Let's take that and that. Pull. So you've got these fellas, that one there, which is tight, that one there, which is now tight, that one down there. And basically these 2 at the bottom here, what they actually do is they largely adjust the in and out movement of the frame. Pausing again because I want to put my extension bar on, because you can't get to that bolt there unless you go through here. Right, and then that one just sits onto. I can see the bolt, but I just can't access it. Oh, crikey, this one's loose. Right, just. Can't do these things one-handed. It's a lot easier to do it two-handed. Right, I want this to be tight because I don't want this thing to shift around. Right, and that's tight. Now, we need to just double check the window operation again. It's not blindingly fast going up, but it's fast enough. So now all I need to do is secure the screws, front and back. Turn the ignition off again. Oh dear. Right, I'll do those and I'll come back to you. Right, that's done those 2. And again, just double check the window goes up and down. Now the last one goes through here. Now the purpose of this one is literally just to hold the skin and stop the skin from bouncing backwards and forwards. And this one will cause you to swear, because the retaining panel has got to go up inside the skin about there somewhere. So you've got to put your hand from the bottom right the way up and then put the bolt through, and it's a pain in the balls, it really is. That side didn't even have one, I couldn't even find the plate for it. They're frequently left out. But that is how you adjust up the door window so the glass goes up and down easily. I hope that's helpful. So I know someone did ask about how you get the glass to go up and down. In the next, on the next project, I will go through in a lot more detail how to shim the doors up, because I kind of brushed over that on this particular car. It's a dark art, and I've got it nailed now on how to do the doors and how to get the lines spot on, and how to get the gaps spot on, and how to get the doors so it opens and closes easily. Yep. Look at that. Nice that. Right, I'm going to go and have a cup of tea, maybe Lemsip, and other brands are available. And yeah, we're almost... Cold again. Right, need to go and get tracking done on this, and it's cold today. It is cold. -5 last night, which is not cold to some of you. Right. It's a bit rattly when it's cold. It soon smooths out. There. Yeah, easily. So, sorted out the injector pump, and it was only about half a degree out, I reckon, at the end of it. I don't. Anyway, it now pulls really nicely. Call this road is icy. Pulls really nicely from 1500 RPM. First and second gear, it's got really good pull now. Third and fourth really are kind of cruising gear. Fifth is motorway. So if you're going up a hill, you need to be above 1500 RPM ready for it to pull in any gear at all. You won't even sustain its speed going uphill below the 1500 RPM. But I think that's alright, you know. I think that's what you're supposed to do. Just being really careful up here, there's no grit been up here. Let's take this head thing off my head. Take the whole thing right. What was I going to say? Oh yes, this gearbox cover has quieted things down significantly in here. It's actually become quite civilised, in fact, for a 200 TDI. It trundles along quite happily now, so I'm trundling along. I'm in fourth gear, 1500 RPM again. That's picking up quite nicely. Going uphill, it's starting to bob, so it's down to fourth gear. And it's also cold as well. It'll be third gear here. Pulling where the customer wants it, which is MOT, reliable, lowered, stripped out, and ready really for the next chapter in its life. So the customer's really looking at using it as a daily vehicle, chucking his bike in the back, hence the stripped out interior, and just really just getting on with it. And then maybe later on this year we might think about doing a bit of bodywork on it, and getting the bodywork a little bit tidier. It depends. The customer might not actually want that. Might decide they've had enough of the diesel. Got a nice petrol V8 here. I don't know. It's a pretty usable car, in all honesty. It's got me thinking again about, you know, potentially getting a vehicle to use more as a van that's got the economy. I say economy. That's not going to be too. I'm not going to be too precious over putting things in the back end, so to speak. I'm going to say for now. That's fifth gear now, 1500 RPM, and it's just holding its own quite happy. We're trundling along at 45 miles an hour. I know there's a fucking Ford Cubic behind me, and it's getting quite excited about wanting to overtake. But tough shit, the roads are fucking treacherous. It's still like -4, -5, and I'm not rushing. There's no way am I rushing on these roads. Not rushing the gears, it's cold, the oil's thick. It's going to crunch, I don't want it to crunch. So, into fifth. Comfy. So it's into fifth now, we're doing 2000 RPM, just below 2000 RPM. 'cause see the dash is largely together. I haven't put that piece on there yet, but that's what I wanted the screw for, you see, for the filler piece on the end. Not the Philippines, the filler piece. I've not made up the surround yet for the window switches, but the window switches work. That's something that's very easy to sort out. We need a couple of blanks here for the switches, but otherwise all of the dash is under and in place on the driver's side. Made up this fancy looking metal plate to go on the gear stick surrounds. They're not the best, these things, but they're all right. They came from Car Builder Solutions. I think they're just Car Solutions now. I don't know. If you Google Car Builder Solutions, they do lots of interesting parts if you're building kit cars and so forth. So I got them from there. Original gear stick and gear knobs. I was going to look at a straight stick for an LT77 gearbox, but I've got a feeling it's going to be too long a reach when you are in the driver's seat of a Range Rover. I think the straight stick works really, really well on the narrower body width of the Defender. Passenger seats in. I've got the top door trim panels on, but not the bottom door trim panels because they were just messy. Left the headlining in. It's not gone baggy, but it is pretty dirty. Car needs a really good clean at the moment. You can see door opens nicely. And closes nicely. Windows on the back, they do open and close. They're a little bit, they probably could do with a bit of, you can hear the sound in the runners, but they open and close. Back wing on this side, I haven't put the quarter bumpers on. The back wing on this side is looking okay. nice and straight down the side. You can see the shape, the scallop shape, as it curls round towards the front and the back. So the widest point really is more or less here, and then it curls in at the front, in towards the back. Oh, that's annoying, that's popped open. Why is that popped open? That is annoying. Bollocks. Rear wiper, I've not managed to sort out yet. I just need to order one. Get a wiper arm. I thought I had some right-hand drive rear wipers, but I can't find the damn things. I've done nothing with this back wing. I think it's past it. I might have a go at it later on to see if I can prod and push it and get it into a slightly better shape than that. But otherwise, this side isn't too bad. The front, say hello tidy. The front is looking nice. My shadow going across it. All very clean and tidy. Engine bay. I'll have to go to the passenger side to get to the engine bay. We haven't got central locking on this. I didn't fit anything. I've not done anything with the paintwork on this anywhere. That's likely to be in phase 2 if phase 2 proceeds. Door closes nicely. They're just heavy. And then engine bay. Let's see what's going on in here. Yeah, so it's all nice and clean and tidy. Let's just here. So inner wings have been cleaned, painted, welded where necessary, put back, bulkheads just painted, this inner wing just welded in, some panels along the top there, and it's all done and dusted. That's happy. You can see driving through puddles and mud and stuff that quite a lot of stuff does get sprayed up and around the engine bay. But being a diesel, you can just hose the damn thing out. Return pipe is no longer leaking. It was leaking, which is allowing air to get back into the pump, which made running when cold a bit of a ball's ache. It's all looking very clean and tidy in here. Thermostat's working. We've got pressure on the cooling system. Battery's held in nicely. Fans working. It's all a bit of a result, this, to be honest. All very happy. Pleased with it. I didn't just notice that just now while I was looking around. I'm going to spray a bit of Dynex in there. There's a bit of bare steel right at the back of the bonnet there, and at the front here. So this bonnet does need some treatment, really. Needs painting. Big dent there. Didn't notice that on the outside. That's because it's not on the outside. It's got a load of filler on the outside. It's not really a problem though, is it? Yeah, I think all in all, I think that's turned out quite nicely. I'm pleased with it. I'm running the front tyres at 28 psi and the back's at 35 at the moment. They are a standard size tyre on these. I think they're 215s. No, they're 205s. Crumbs, they are standard 205s. I've got 225s on that. Just to give me a little bit of extra reassurance. I had 205s on that before, but then 205s started to get quite expensive. The back on this thing sits slightly high, by the way, because there's no back seat in it. And while you can't bounce the thing up and down, it would sit a little bit lower if it had the back seat in it. But it's certainly easy to get in and out of. It works nicely, goes nicely, stops nicely, does exactly what it says on the tin. Done. Oh yes, hope you've enjoyed the series. There's going to be more series like this coming up. So please subscribe if you like this kind of stuff. Me chuntering on about these marvellous old motor cars. Perfect daily drivers, honestly. Just don't worry about the fuel economy. That, ideal daily driver, that one. This one, not far off here. If it had a petrol in it, it would be. So this is the next one that I'm going to be doing, or continuing the series on. This needs quite a lot more work on the bulkhead than I anticipated, which I'm going to do. So I'll cover this off in a separate series. I've got a new Range Rover, very much like my one, so it's 93, 94 Range Rover coming in next week for some engine and gearbox work. I've got another 1970s, I think it's a D suffix, 1979 Range Rover coming in for a mechanical and electrical overhaul and an MOT. I've got a number of other inquiries from good, classic friendly people that want work doing on their cars. So I say again, that if you've got work like this that you want me to talk to you about or quote you on, get in touch with me through the link at the bottom of the video in the description page, or alternatively go back to my channel homepage, and from there you'll see the link is actually on the header just underneath the Triumph Stag. There you go, which is also mine. I might need to get a set of tyres for this. God knows what these are. Itchy Fanny 5000s. Right, marvellous. Lunchtime.